All right. So I'm on my way to the office here today. Which is all spiffy. Anyways, I'm on my way to the office today, and I want to share something with you because yesterday was my sister's birthday, and I think it's something that we all kind of don't talk about, which is kind of common for a lot of us, which is Chinese food. So we went to this Chinese restaurant, and awesome place. Small dishes, family style, just super, super good. And the problem is that, naturally with Chinese food, they have a lot of the starches and stuff like that, and that they can make in the sauces. And the cool thing about this place is that it's actually one of the cleaner places, right? So it's not super junky. In fact, I'll put a bunch of pictures on the screen right now. The challenge that I have is this. Whenever I say that, I play defense and all that other stuff, it's 100% true. Like you'll see as I'm eating here, like eating a lot of clean chicken, vegetables, no worries, okay? The challenge for me and the temptation for me came when they brought out one of their signature dishes, okay? One of them is, house spicy or house special scallops. Scallops, which are fine. However, they're covered in a little bit of oyster sauce, and they've also been lightly fried, and you're like, dang it, right? So anyways, because we know that there's flour in that. And then the gangster, okay, the killer of killers, for me anyway, which is the fried pork chop, because which is why I want to share this with you, because you might be too. An easy way of finding that out is, with testing. I'm one of these type 2 diabetics that have high blood sugar spikes with pork, okay? And so they bring out these fried pork chops. Not only are they fried pork, which phenomenal, they're also battered, right? A little bit of real thin though of flour, and what I like about this place is that, yeah, they're light on the starches, light on the breadings and stuff, really, really light. I mean, obviously when you see the scallop there, it's almost paper thin on a handful of them. I think maybe I just got one where there's a little bit more or whatever, but there's not that much at all, okay? Not that much at all. However, normally when it's the local Chinese place, I'll tell them straight up, like, hey, I can't have any fillers, can't have any starch, whatever. And they're so used to me ordering, that they're like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? However, this is a restaurant that we haven't been to in like 20 years, stuffed my face like a champ, right? And I'm bummed because I ran out of my tester. I ran out of battery. You know what I mean? And so I just went to the store this morning. I'm on my way to the office before I go to the office here. And yeah, so we're gonna go right now to work. But I definitely wanted to share that with you because here's the deal. The cool thing is that as a type 2 diabetic, remember, like, we're all human. You know what I mean? And where we stand in our journey is going to take a handful of different patterns or series, or a series of growth, if you will. And here's what I mean by that. At one time, I was kind of heartbroken, because of my relationship with food. And then I realized that, my love for food, just with a couple of changes, just like not even real big changes, could actually be my superpower, right? Not only that, and then after a while, when I really got into, low carb and tracking things and all this other stuff, I became, to be totally honest, very paranoid of, carbohydrates, like just anti-carb everything, which helped me for a while. If I'm being totally honest, it really did. However, in the end, just like any of us, right, whenever we mature and grow and progress as people, paranoia isn't usually something that's gonna help us, or at least fulfill us, as far as us hitting our peak, right? Our maturation, or really like where we want to go and where we want to be, right? And then obviously it didn't really take a genius to tell me, hey Davis, there's a night and day difference between a bowl of sugar and a bowl of Brussels sprouts, right? So and then obviously that kind of came down, and then when I really kind of got into maybe just stop listening to diet guru after diet guru, and instead listened to like my body, right, which almost none of them really ever tell you to do, However, whenever we go to our doctors and stuff like that, they're gonna run tests and like look at our body anyway, right? Like I might as well look at it now, right? I got into, you know, all this different testing and really just kind of embracing what no diet ever tells us to embrace, which is ourselves, which is, you know, what our body is trying to tell us, right? And I share that with you because what I really want you to see is that, like, when we see other people in these different transformations, it almost looks like we almost want to put them on a pedestal. You know, at least I know that that's the way that I had felt when doing and actually, like, you know, starting this journey. You know, like I would look at people and XYZ, you know, diet guru and XYZ, you know, doctor, researcher, scientist, whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, this guy's my hero. And which they, in a lot of different ways, they really are still. But it also, in a lot of different ways, I also recognize that, you know, we're all human, and that I could probably, if I ever just ran into him now, I'd be like, hi, you know, like, I like your work. Because at the end of the day, since we're all human, I think it allows us to maybe take the people off the pedestal. And if all we ever did was take that same level of you know, time, money, and energy, and maybe even just maybe invested that into ourselves, invested that into the people that we love, right? Which is more like a motivation as far as, like, you know, maybe us staying clean and keeping clean and doing the right things, and maybe even bringing to a higher level of self-respect when it comes to us taking action in our relationship with food. Man, I'll tell you right there, that alone is priceless, you know. And I think there's a huge reason why, as to why I want to take this kind of approach, because I think a lot of folks out there, they almost think that it's like an impossible thing. And you know, if you've seen me control my blood sugar with foods that I already love and all this other stuff with other videos, I really want to yank the covers back on that, because here's why. I got this message, and I'll put a picture of it on the wall, on the screen right now. And I got this message the other day from a gentleman by the name of James Rappaport. And if you, like, look at any of my stuff on social media, I suck. I'm not anywhere. I have, like, you know, a few people that are very nice enough to follow me or whatever, a few people on my channel or whatever, on YouTube or whatever. However, what's really weird is that, like, that stuff aside, you know, just take this lane, that stuff aside, when it comes to the podcast, that part is doing all right. And whatever, you know, I never really saw that coming. You know, for me, I'll tell you right now, my biggest thing is that after seeing what type 2, we all know what type 2 diabetes can do to us, right? And me simply taking that next step was really just, after getting things under control and kind of yanking the covers back on stuff, was just about helping someone else, you know? Anyway, I got to the point where I released this podcast. I release them usually at, like, you know, midnight, or I should say, you know, 12 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, because I have them pre-recorded. Well, anyways, I released one on Thursday, and on Friday night, in the middle of the night, I get this message from James, and he was like, dude, like 500 people messaged him, saying that how he's, you know, inspired them, and like, I don't know how the podcast and some of the stuff, the work that we have done, you know, has helped people. And it's really humbling, man. You know what I mean? And I say that because that's you. You know, that's for you, and we're just regular dudes. And that's more than anything what I really want to kind of like impart and embed with you, you know, throughout this journey. There are ways to make it easy, and when we understand that things like our A1C is our average, you know what I mean? And that our bodies, there's times where we're going to do all the right things, and then we're going to wake up one day and our body's going to be like, oh, you think you're cool? Hold my beer. And it's like, barrel, you know what I mean? And it just goes off all weird to the side, you know what I mean? We're like, hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And yeah, and it's something that we can't necessarily control as much as we wish we could. And I say that with you now because, hold on, I just want to make sure we don't crash while making this video. I say that with you now because, you know, you think I'm overshot my little exit here. Let me turn back one. I impart with that with you now because last night was a perfect example. Okay, and yesterday, so it was yesterday. So we went to this Chinese place, right? Last night, today's a really cool day because I'm gonna be interviewing somebody that I like her work from Australia, Belinda Fettke. And we're going to get into that here in a second, or maybe on another episode. However, what I want to impart with you is that she's in Australia, I'm here in California, and I'm like, man, like I'm like, you know, I'm up all night, I can barely sleep, I'm super stoked. At the same time, right, because I had all that crap earlier in the day, I had one meal that day, yesterday, and because I had all that crap in my system, I know my blood sugar sucks right now, and I wish I had batteries in the tester, which is why I bought those batteries right there. Anyways, yeah, you know, because my batteries died. So anyways, just know that, you know, you don't have to necessarily be overly perfect, and that you don't have to, you know, put somebody up on a pedestal, and that it really can be easy, and that you don't have to be some weird perfect diet person or whatever in order to, you know, crush type 2 diabetes on your own terms. Well, anyways, I don't want to blabber. I don't want to, like, you know, fill this video up with a bunch of filler for the sake of filler. I really want to give you value. So, you know what? Let's just let's get to work. All right, so today was a bit of a busy day because I had that Chinese food there yesterday. Obviously, my blood sugar is high because I had that pork or whatever. Here's what I'm having. Basically, just one meal today. Is super fast today. So this is grilled chicken, chopped grilled chicken. Under that, I actually have some hamburger. I got some cheese here, and I got some avocado. Looks super keto, just super low carb. Only meal today. And then again, that's just because I have, you know, like high blood sugar. I'm trying to get that guy back down. All right, so here we go.